Intimacy is a very, very important part of a relationship. Terrible financial challenges. They've hit rock bottom. Fortunately, some of them even lost their partners.
People with failures can actually outperform people that have never had a big failure.
Rock bottom can be super powerful. You can reinvent yourself and you can create so much purpose post a breakdown.
The secret is just discipline, making sure you show up. If you get that 1% better every day, over a year, that's 100% better. You have two choices: give up and start blaming other people for your failures, or you man up.
Hi guys. In this episode, Rory shares the setbacks men often face in relationships through financial pressure and provides intelligent suggestions on how to rebuild one's financial, emotional, and personal identity after hitting rock bottom. For anyone trying to recover from financial ruin or significant financial challenges, their confidence, their purpose, and their relationships often suffer. In this episode, I think anyone in the same situation will find the content provides hope, direction, and actionable steps on how anyone can implement the same strategies to move on with their life successfully very quickly. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Thanks again for joining me.
Good seeing you, buddy.
Great. And so in our penultimate episode now of Between the Sheets for what we're doing with you guys, we've learned a lot. Thank you so much for your wisdom and your intelligence and, talking us through some real quick wins, how we can kind of get our relationships back on track, and which you guys do. You inspire us all. So a few more questions, because, there are a lot of guys out there. We have a lot of patients that have been through some terrible financial challenges. They've hit rock bottom. Unfortunately, some of them even lost their partners because when they go through the stress, if they can't perform, often partners can be very unforgiving about that. And even if they say it's okay, it doesn't mean, and that's understanding, okay doesn't mean to say it's okay. They'll say it's okay till they run off with a neighbor or something like that. Yeah. So it's all about, men becoming, not just financially fit, but fit from a health point of view and sexually being able to perform. Because like you said, number one, intimacy is a very, very important part of a relationship. So rock bottom is very different for every person. Do you believe someone can succeed in their career when they've, in their career in their personal life, if they've never failed, Rory? Or do you think failure is quite important? You mentioned in a previous episode, you bought the Range Rover years ago and you learned the hard lesson. What do you think? Is failure good?
Definitely. Look, this might sound a bit funny, but I can say that I can't say I've ever had any really major failures where I've thought like that I've failed. And sometimes, and this sounds bad, I don't wish anything bad upon myself, touch wood. I think people with failures can actually outperform people that have never had a big failure because they know what rock bottom is and they've been there. And coming from that rock bottom place, you know how bad it is. And really, there's only one way out, which is up, right? So I think you look at most like really successful people out there in the world, they have all had something like they've come from a really bad family. Like Tony Robbins, the perfect example. He had a really bad bringing up, and now he's the best motivational speaker in the world. So I think that you've got to turn any kind of adverse event into the reason why you're not going to do that again.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. No, I could. No,
yeah,
I would agree with you.
I think rock bottom can be super powerful.
Yeah.
Like being so low, it gives you you can take so much stock, and like Rory said, you can only go up from there. And I know for me, I've had with my daughter, her being really unwell for a while, nothing is worse than that. So everything that was post her being unwell feels like glorious.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can reinvent yourself and you can create so much purpose post a breakdown.
Yeah. And for me, I don't do it from like my own failings that I've had. I use other people's failings. Like I've learned to learn from other people's mistakes. Like,
why not?
And you feel it, like, you
advice.
Right? Like you go, okay, well.
And how do you do that? Where do you access that information?
Things like podcasts. Like I'm sure there's tons of podcasts out there. There's there's like how many movies and bibliographies of people that have had big failings in life.
And do people generally get out of rock bottom with luck? Is it hard work? Is it skill, talent? What do you
definitely think it's like hard work.
Yeah, the one thing, you know, like I've read 50, 60 plus self-help books and motivational books. It's not a secret anymore. Like they call it the secret. The secret is just discipline, making sure you show up, and that 1%, if you get that 1% better every day over a year, that's 100% better, right?
Yeah.
Like you're doubling whatever you had at the beginning. So I think just showing up every day, having consistency, and not giving up. Like there's been times where it's been really difficult, but what do? You have two choices: give up and start blaming other people for your failures, or you man up and go, well, I made a mistake. I'm not going to make that mistake again. You might relapse here and there, but just knowing that you've just got to keep going, you know, one day at a time is like the AA thing. It's like, you know, you show up one day. And a big piece of it is in having some faith, you know, faith in something outside of you that is going to drive you towards it, and know that, you know, other people have walked this 1,000 times. There's been people that have been 100 times worse off than you and have made it through. I think, I don't know his name, Nick, doesn't have arms and legs.
Oh,
yes. What an incredible story,
Amazing.
you know, like,
Amazing.
And there's people living every day in pain. I forgot that guy's name, but like, those David Goggins, there's so many different people that you can learn from.
What I'm definitely getting through this series though is, you know, if you got, you know, issues with finances, or you need to, you know, analyze your finances, you talk to someone like yourself.
Yeah.
You mentioned, you know, when you go to the gym, you know, to really power up and get the best out of your workout, you know, a coach, certainly at the Men's Health Clinic, people come through 6-12 months sort of customized plans, and they have a performance manager who's a coach that holds their hand through the whole thing. It's, you know, constantly online and wants the feedback on how the performance is going.
You don't have to do it yourself. You get people to help you, right?
I think that's a big one, isn't it?
It is, definitely.
Just not being frightened to reach out for help, support.
And investing in yourself, because what else are you going to invest in?
Like I've spent like $200,000 over like 15, maybe even 17 years on personal courses. So like, you know, learning how to think, learning about finances, learning about relationships, learning, like you can't not learn things. And if you dedicate time, like if you got 5 or 10 grand, like, and that's what we do a lot of. So like we're partnered with Tony Robbins for doing the finance. And I love that. Like we get to help people and we get to see them change their lives. Like in an event.
Well, you would see that as well.
That's right. And I've seen some of your reviews and how people that have been on the rocks in their relationships, they see you, they go through this kind of journey, they get their finances back on track, and they've recovered in their whole worlds. You know, they're back close again.
100%.
It's good to see. That must be a wonderful thing when you see it coming to fruition, the hard work you put in.
It sounds so corny, but like sometimes I'll be having a rough day, and then I'll get a client that comes to me that have just made some mistakes. Like they've just made some silly mistakes, and some of them aren't even their faults. Like economics is a big part of everything right now. And to know that we, you know, like we'll refinance all their debts, get them some money to fix up their home. And, you know, after that, they actually make more money. And like a girl the other day, they you know, helped them get $100,000 to finish off their house and refinance 2 debts, which made the loan overall cheaper each month. And then when they're finished, their house is finished, it'll be worth like an extra $400,000. So like having stuff like that, and you know, they were so emotional and they were going through this pain. They'd worked with me for a year prior to that, and I did a refinance prior to that to get them to that next stage. And it's on them. Like they did all the things. They, you know, I told them like, you're going to have to get a new job. You're going to have to earn more money to be able to get that next loan. He quit his job. He went and worked and got a job that paid him an extra $20,000.
He followed the step-by-step plan. He followed the step.
So like sometimes it's not as like you don't just start off and everything, someone's just going to solve your problem. They put the work in, and after like a year's time, they came back after doing everything I've told them to. And I do this for 20, 30 people a year. And, you know, in their business, I tell them, like, if you don't have a goal of how much you need to earn to buy your home, or you don't have a goal on how to get healthy, and you don't have someone there to keep you, you know, on task, then, you know, it's kind of setting yourself up for failure, because you know what
you
not
fail
to
to
do,
plan,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So if you have, someone like yourselves to go and teach you how to eat healthy, go to the gym and take the medications correctly,
Have sex correctly, exactly.
have sex correctly,
Yeah.
then
And frequently.
not that advice isn't out there. You're not going to listen to some like influencer on YouTube telling you to
Yeah.
need
like
someone
Talk
who
to people that have walked the
specialises.
walk. and that have,
been doing it for 10, 15 years. They
Yeah.
understand it. They've got the reviews, they understand.
Reviews
even
are so
for us.
important, aren't they?
They are,
Yeah. And we've lived the life too. Like, I've had hardship and I know how it felt when I didn't have the money and I knew what I had to do. I had to go earn more money to
Yeah.
pay it off. So I had to like leave
It's quite simple.
I left Roxy for 2 years. Like we did FIFO and like that was difficult, right? Like, and that was right when our partnership started. Like I was with her for a year and then I'm like, I'm off for 2 years to get ahead. And I got enough to buy her a ring. I got enough to like pay for our wedding, had a deposit for a house and paid off all the debt. But that was hard. I worked, 28 days on, 9 days off for like 2 years. Yeah. So
you do whatever it takes.
you do whatever it takes. Sometimes you got to take a sacrifice, but a lot of people don't want to take the sacrifice
and be uncomfortable.
They just rather complain about it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So couples perhaps that are going through intimacy issues because of financial turbulence, how should they coach each other through it? And what sort of steps, what's number one step they should take?
Speak to a professional, right? Like you go to a doctor if you're sick.
True.
If you want advice and you don't know, it's hard to learn. Like you can definitely self-teach yourself, but at the same time, how do you know? Like there's so many different influences out there. I cringe at some of the content I see. I'm like, that is such bad advice for your average person. Like they're talking about setting up trusts and all this. It's like,
really, it's
just
all
like,
dangerous advice.
It's not. It's good
hands.
for the right person. If you're set up for that, that's great. But again, I don't want to go into getting the advice thing, but it's more like if you're struggling and you need help and you want to know how to get out of your problem, go and speak to a broker. Speak to us and we'll give you advice and we'll help you. And then, from there, you have a plan to follow and someone to keep you accountable. We keep our CRM system, we put it in there, follow up, 3 months from now, see how they're going. And not everyone nails it. Like some people get it wrong after a bit, but then I call them and, they're like, oh, so glad you called. Yeah, I haven't been doing the things. I'm going to do them. And you call them 3 months later. I've been doing it 50% better. And then you call them, 3 months later. I'm on it now. We've saved this much money. We're getting out of the debt. And it's like for me, I can be having a bad day because things still happen in my life. It's not all sunshines and roses. And hearing those stories of people doing it, it's like, yes, that's great.
Fantastic. I mean, that's what it makes the world go round. Must make you want to get up every day, doesn't it?
It
really
definitely
makes it all
does.
worthwhile.
Yeah.
And so what final sort of takeaways would you offer to men that are sort of stuck in a financial situation, perhaps feeling really low on the emotional side, their relationship is looking at collapsing with their current situation that they're in, and they're struggling with their sexual health. What advice would you give them?
Yeah,
they've got a pretty bad combo going on all at once.
That's all of them.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Look, speaking to friends is definitely a good thing, I reckon. And then again, like reaching out to someone to get some proper advice, taking action,
taking action,
take some
sitting
small
there,
steps to do better.
And write those steps down and form a plan and budget.
It doesn't have to be much. Like even if it's like just wake up, like start off with something simple, like just waking up. And when you set an alarm, wake up and do that.
Yeah.
And like I still make my bed every day. Like it's discipline. It's
like
I
do.
You wake up, you make your bed. You brush your teeth. Like having routine and discipline in your life. It's like. I'm not always perfect, but I know when I do my discipline, I get such good results.
Yeah, me too.
And then I get comfortable and then I'm like, let's relax a bit on some of them. And then, a couple of weeks, I'm like, no, do the discipline. So like, even for someone like me.
That's why training's good, isn't it? Because it kind of keeps you.
And that's where having the PT there, like it's so easy to hit the snooze button. It's so easy not to go to the gym, but it's those things are the things that make you feel better.
Absolutely.
Right. And everyone wants to, want the quick fix, but it's not all about that. It's about doing the things consistently. Yeah, and that's what I like about what you guys do. It's not just here's a medication. It's like it's medication with a routine, with medicine, and with
it's
food.
a proper plan, and exactly, and it's
holistic view to it.
It is, yeah, and it's sort of tracking and leading these guys until they're rehabilitated. That's what we really focus on. But really, really good. Thank you so much. Some great takeaways again from this one. And I'm sure that guys going through, some financial pressure that's affecting their relationship, their marriages, etc., really will get a lot of wisdom out of that. So thanks so much. Appreciate
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, James. Cheers.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Between the Sheets. Thanks for joining us. If you're enjoying this podcast, give it a like and subscribe so we can keep creating content you'll love. If you have questions or want to start your treatment for sexual dysfunctions, reach out to Men's Health Clinic. We offer free online consultation and provide custom treatments. Take care, everyone, and keep the conversation going between the sheets.